analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
Gary Tanguay, Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman's on assignment this week. Brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. Bob, great week for the little engine that could there. Your guy, you have some numbers for us. You've done a deep dive on Payton Pritchard.
Well, the numbers, are shooting right. But what we can get into, but what I'm really interested in, every once in a while, I love this just over the years, what if we redid a certain draft? What if the draft now, based on what we now know, as opposed to what we thought we knew, or we knew what we knew then, okay? And Payton Pritchard was in the 2020 draft, the 26th pick of the 2020 draft. Payton Pritchard, who is now the clear favorite to be the sixth man of the year in the NBA. Well, who was in that 2020 draft?
Bob, who was in that draft?
We can't quarrel with the number one pick. It was Anthony Edwards. It took him a little while, but and we know our good buddy Jeff Goodman just exuded that, loved his talent, raw talent, but had doubts, about his whole makeup. But he's Anthony Edwards is a stud. He's a great player. Okay, the second pick. Talk about sad. James Wiseman.
Oh, right.
Weird. It never was. James Wiseman. It's a career that's never happened. It's a shame. He was going to be the answer to the Warriors' big man issue, and I lost track. I think he's out of the game, but he has. I don't know. The third pick was LaMelo Ball. Well, that's okay. All right. I'm not going to go all the way down, but let me just tell you, among other, Patrick Williams was 4, Isaac Okoro was 5, Onyeka Okongwu where is he now? Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin, I'm giving you Denny Advija, Jalen Smith. We're down to 10 now. Number 11, Devin Vassell. He's pretty good. People don't know about him at San Antonio. Okay. Number 12, Tyrese Halliburton. 13, Kira Lewis Jr. Who? 14, the Celtic pick, Aaron Nesmith. Okay. All right. Now, I'm dropping down. The 21 pick and the steal of the draft. The steal, Tyrese Maxey, 21. Okay. And then we get the Pritchard at 26. It is my belief that there are only 4 guys that were better picks, have proven out to be worthier NBA players than the man at 26. Edwards, LaMelo, when he's healthy, Tyrese Halliburton,
right?
And Tyrese Maxey.
Right.
That's it. Payton Pritchard is at worst, the 5th best player in the 2020 draft. And he was the 26th pick, which just goes to show you, folks, I don't care what sport, I don't care when, they're inexact sciences. All these draft projections, all the, in every sport, you just sit back and laugh. And because James Wiseman is exhibit A in this one.
Oh, sure.
But, but it's not just the injury. He just didn't have it as well, I don't think. But here's Payton Pritchard at 26, and he is one of the top 5 players out of the 2020 draft.
Do you think it's fair to question where he would be if he was not on a team as talented as the Celtics? Well,
that's fair. That's fair. If he were projected somewhere where he had to, start and do this thing. Yeah, I think that's the other thing for anybody. And always, context is so vital at times. There aren't that many players, and let's stick with basketball on the end. There aren't that many players that can influence things dramatically by themselves,
right.
Even in basketball, 5 guys. There aren't that many, guys. I mean, you can go down historically and find guys who instantly changed franchises. One that immediately jumps to mind, of course, is the young Kareem. The fact that was as Lou Alcindor entering the league, he gets them to the conference finals the first year when they were nothing, and he wins the championship the second year. And with by the way, with forwards standing 6'6" and 6'5", how the league has changed, huh? The solid forwards, Bobby Danovich and Greg Smith, 6'6" and 6'5". But he did have a guy named Oscar Robertson bringing the ball up. That helped a little bit. But anyway, Kareem slash, Lou Alcindor screen. Yeah. But everybody else, it takes a while. Now, Larry, the team went from 29 to 62, and everybody wants to give Larry all the credit. And there's no bigger Larry Bird fan than me. But there were a lot of things that happened that year that resulted in the Celtics making. He was the most important transfer, of course.
Right.
But they got ML Carr from Detroit. They got ML Carr. They got Tiny Archibald got healthy. He hadn't been healthy the year before, and had refashioned himself as a true point guard. Gerald Henderson was a nice addendum. No one knew where he was, anything about him. And they got a coach. They didn't have a coach. They had Dave Cowens year before. Now they got Bill Fitch. So that all put everything together.
And that was also Cedric's second year, right?
Third.
Or was his third year? Okay.
Yeah, third year. His third year. And right, Max's third year. So he was coming.
So he had some time under his belt. He was ready to go.
And they made a trade for Rick Roby.
Right.
That was the year before though that they made that trade and traded Billy Knight. So anyway, so that's a fair question. Yeah, he certainly isn't going to transform anybody, Pritchard, but yeah, it helped him, of course, to come to a good team. There's no doubt.
But he's taken advantage of the situation.
He's
made himself, to me, like I've said before, he's gone to a whole new level.
And I'm going to say it for the 1,000th time. He's a cross between Larry Siegfried and Eddie House.
That's it.
Okay.
And someday maybe you'll be saying Larry Siegfried and Steph Curry. Siegfried is always the constant. Always the constant. Okay. We are brought to you by Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And Prize Picks now puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get money as fast as 15 minutes. They also have Flex Play, which means you can still cash out of your lineup if it isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Okay, sign up today, and you also get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. So what do we think? Jaylen Brown, more than 25. Luka Doncic, more than 8 assists. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $5 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Okay, Bob, you've been looking at some numbers. I'll let you set this up with the Celtics record. We're going to try to put for people old enough to remember Johnny Carson, our Karnak hat, and take a look at the future.
Well, right now as we speak, they're 40-16. I'm just wondering what we think the final record's going to be. And they got 26 games left. And the way they're playing, if this is the way they're going to play, the way we've seen them against Cleveland, New York, and Philadelphia specifically, if this is the way they're going to play, those 26 games, do they have a shot at becoming yet another Celtic team to win 60? There are teams in this league who have barely won 50 a few times, let alone winning 60, but they've won several times. In order to do that, they'd have to go 20 wins and 6 losses the rest of the way. I think that's a bit of a reach. I'm going to go that they're going to go. They're going to finish with 58-24.
Well, I wrote 58-22. Yeah,
58-24, and over that. So anything better than
sorry, my math was off. Yes, but 58 wins.
If you're looking for bragging rights, as a Boston Celtic team, with your look at your historical, antecedents, 60 is the mark that you need to have in the feather in your cap, which, by the way, the last 2 championship teams have had. And the Garnett boys, they won in 60, and last year we won 64. They won 66, and last year's gang won. This current crop, They won 64. So they've got one in their belt, and they want to get another one. That would be very nice. Because just back in the Bird era, we expected Philly and Boston to both win 60. And remember those early 80s.
Right.
We just took it for granted. I used to scoff. I remember we get to the playoffs, and they'd be playing some team with, they were 45 and 30. Come on, 45 and 37. And what is that? No, we were.
Do you remember? I'm sure you do. So I know I'm not putting you on the spot. Do you remember what the record was for the 69 team that finished fourth but won the title?
34. It was a
What was it?
I think they won 48, I believe. And remember, they weren't. It was a 72-game schedule. So wait a minute, 44 and 38, whatever I think, and something. Yeah, they finished fourth in the Eastern Division. There were two divisions. It was a 14-team league by that time, and they finished fourth. And then they went out. They knocked off the Sixers and the Knicks, and eventually the Lakers. But yeah, they didn't win 50, and that's the least number, of course, for anybody.
Right.
I was going to look this up. 74 and 76. Neither won 60. I know that 74 did not, and they were 54 or 56, and one of them I think was 6 and 26. The one thing about both of those championship teams in 74 and 76 was that they had a great start and they kind of second half of the year. I mean, really, and it definitely in 76. I wasn't ready for that. The way they went away the championship that year at all, and I mean, so and they had,
and neither were the Suns.
Kind of backed into the playoffs, if you will, and then they found themselves,
All right, Bob. I can't let you go. Have you thought of any Oscar picks?
I didn't. Well, the person to ask would be my wife, because she's seen all 30 prominent nominations this year, which she's reached the goal of seeing all 30. No, I didn't see enough, to have a firm judgment.
Do you have a favorite film you saw?
Those days are gone. Probably Nickel Boys.
Yeah.
Boys was very, very well done. Now, it wasn't for everybody's taste because of the beginning of the movie, the way it was shot from the viewpoint of the, of the eyes of the actor. And so, but that was impressive. That was powerful. And also in the back of your mind, you went, my God, this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
And that was affecting my judgment too. Wow. Can you imagine that this is based on a true story? So people don't know, it's about this Florida, reform school, and not exactly a pleasant place to be, I'll tell you. So anyway, that's it. Conclave, the acting was so good too in acting,
Tremendous.
I love John Lithgow. He was the bad guy, the bad cardinal. I wouldn't mind if he won.
Well, Lithgow is one of those guys, and Tucci's great too.
No, he didn't get nominated.
I know, Ray Fiennes, he's not so shabby. But the thing about Lithgow, out of any actor, he can play the crazy alien from Third Rock for the Sun, or the cross-dressing tight end in Garp, and then scare the living daylights out of you as a serial killer.
See the preacher in Footloose? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he can flip the switch. I mean, even like you mentioned, he plays he plays the bad guy in Conclave, or the movie with I'm trying to think, was it Sylvester Stallone? I forgot the name of it. They're in a helicopter and they're stuck in the mountains, and he plays the psychopath. He's awesome. No one can flip a switch like him. No one.
Well, I believe that's called acting.
Acting. And on that note.
Oh, that's called acting, and
acting.
In the old days of Hollywood, in the studio, when the studios reigned supreme for 30, 40 years, they wanted people to be the same person,
right?
Sell the image to the public. There was
Clark Gable was Clark Gable.
I didn't want Joan Crawford telling jokes.
Right?
What I mean?
No, you're right. All right, folks, we are brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less with Prize Picks. For Bob Ryan, I'm Gary Tanguay. Have a good week.